Well guys, it's officially that time. The Browns are about to play the Texans, and if they win, they can potentially already clinch a spot in the playoffs. This has been a crazy season for Cleveland, as I've said many times, and in this video, I'm going to preview the upcoming game and talk about what the Browns need to do to win. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind, and your support truly does mean the world. Alright, so at this point in the season, both teams are dealing with major injuries, particularly at the QB spot, of course with CJ Stroud being ruled out. But the twist in the tale is how the Browns, despite cycling through 4 quarterbacks, have managed to turn their dilemma into a positive. Joe Flacco has been excelling in the passing game, even with the mistakes he has made, and for the 3rd consecutive week, Flacco is up against the defense, known for its poor performance against the pass, presenting him with an excellent opportunity to steer the offense to a big game. The Texans, meanwhile, have Case Keenum under center. Keenum has been known to manage a game in relief and do enough to lead to a victory. It happened last week against the Texans. However, you have to take into factor the type of offensive production the Texans will get with him at quarterback. They settled for 3 field goals through 3 quarters and got their first touchdown with 3 minutes to go in the 4th quarter and then won on a 54-yard field goal. And against this Browns defense, things are going to be even tougher, and I don't think Cleveland will have much of a problem shutting them down at all. And it's about time that the Browns get some positive news on the injury front, where players are actually coming back. This week, center Ethan Posick should return, and there's a chance that Joel Bitonio will be back at left guard too. The Texans' run defense, much like the Bears last week, has been good, but it should help the Browns a lot in pass protection. One factor that maybe we haven't taken seriously enough is the Browns' road efforts. They are only 2-4, but even when you think about those wins, they required heroics and high-scoring affairs against the Colts and Ravens. They've lost to the Steelers, Seahawks, Broncos, and Rams on the road. So even with Keenum at QB, they are going to have to lock in, and it's going to take a full team effort to get the win, because the Texans are still playing for their playoff lives. When I think back to the 2 most recent road losses, I think of 2 things. The opposition got off to fast starts, big thanks to Denzel Ward being out, and that isn't an issue this week. And secondly, offensive turnovers that have set the other team up with basically way too good of field position. Even last week against the Bears, their points basically came from Flacco interceptions. I think it was good for Flacco to see how much Chicago thrived last week by playing those underneath and short routes, because it allowed him to push the ball down the field more. Opposing teams are going to be a lot more prepared for that now, which opens up everything. And Houston has had a lot of mental lapses with their pass defense. Last week, the Browns were particularly effective in the passing game, with wide receiver Amari Cooper having 109 yards and tight end David Njoku having 104. That achievement was particularly impressive because Chicago hadn't allowed a 100-yard receiver since week 2. Anyways, Flacco has been dealing with a little bit of a calf injury all this week, but nobody has said it's anything serious, so it looks like he will be a go. And if he can play anything like how he's played the last 3 weeks, then the Browns will be in a great spot to win. And as I've said many times, this doesn't feel like lightning in a bottle, because he's experienced with great arm talent, and that is something that doesn't go away. So yeah, I expect the Browns to put on a show in this game, and this is only the 2nd time in 21 years that the Browns can make the playoffs, and with a Super Bowl caliber defense like they have, I truly believe that anything can happen. That's really all I have to say for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly means the world. And also let me know what you would like to see next, since there is just so much to talk about right now across the NFL. And until then, I will see you all later.